Welcome to the Geek Switch podcast, turning you on to everything new and nerdy.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the Geek Switch podcast. This is episode 2. Today is June 8th, 2011. I'm your host, Tony Livingston. Joining me again today is Zach McDowell.
How you doing?
And Colin Elving.
Hi.
And today's going to be our E3 show. We're going to go over basically everything that's going on at the show, major press conferences from all the different companies, starting with Microsoft. They had their press conference Monday, and it was pretty Kinect focused, I'd say.
Yeah.
Was there any big surprises for you guys at this show?
Just the Microsoft show in general?
The Microsoft show, yes.
Definitely the announcement of a new Halo trilogy I think took a lot of people by surprise. I know you said it had been rumored, but I hadn't heard anything about that, so this is news to me.
A new trilogy?
Yeah.
And not just
not just Halo 4. They're coming. It's the first of another 3 games. Mm-hmm. As well as the Halo Anniversary, the original Halo game in the Reach engine.
So, are we excited to see Master Chief back then?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
It's been, 4 years since we've seen a Master Chief in a game?
I wouldn't...
Halo 3?
Halo 3 came out...
it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, definitely, but I think not directly on screen as a main character, but... Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's a little tidbit at the end of Halo Reach, but otherwise, no.
Yeah, so you haven't played as him for a while.
Right.
And so it's interesting what they're... they aren't obviously showing too much about this game yet.
Right,
because it's coming out next holiday season. Mm-hmm. Because this year, the big title for Halo is going to be Halo Anniversary. Mm-hmm. And I think that's actually a little more interesting for me, mainly because it's coming up sooner.
Yeah.
And Halo Anniversary is basically a remake of the first game.
The best one out of any of them.
Yes, it runs 2 engines at once. It runs the original Halo game on one engine, and on the second engine, it's running a new graphics engine over that.
The Reach engine.
Yeah, it's running the Reach engine over that for graphics, and in the multiplayer, it's also it's the Reach, but it's 7 classic maps.
Yeah, it's still got all the new features.
And my understanding is you could import those maps one way or the other into Reach, or Reach over to
the Forge system. You can.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. They showed a lot of stuff for Kinect. They had exclusives for Kinect, not necessarily exclusive games, but additions, like I was talking about with Mass Effect 3, is better with Kinect. Now you're going to be able to... They announced you could use dialogue options. You can voice control those. In combat, you can do all sorts of things like give different commands. I don't know if they do gestures or not.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's just the voice commands, but maybe we'll see gestures as more is revealed.
So how excited are you to actually tell someone that this is your favorite shop on the Citadel?
I really like this place.
I don't think I could possibly be more excited. I mean, it's already Mass Effect 3, which is, speaks for itself, but...
Do we think this is going to make the game significantly better?
I think it's going to be a very nice addition.
So are PS3 owners going to be missing out on that?
Maybe they'll... I mean, obviously they've come out with a new version of Mass Effect 2. Maybe they'll introduce some move support.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean they're already doing it for games like Killzone 3. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I think that it might get a little boring after the first couple times because you're going to have to. I think they're going to leave it so you have to say specific things, specific commands, and it's not going to understand anything else. So.
Well, my understanding is you'd say what the trigger text is on the wheel, and then he would say. Commander Shepard, he or she would say what they would say otherwise, because what's on the dialogue wheel is never what the character says anyway.
Right, that's how dialogue works in Mass Effect series.
Then, as far as other games getting Kinect upgrades, there's the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, the Future Soldier. This one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like there's a lot of Kinect support in it. There may be some sort of squad commands with your squad, but mostly what they were showing off was this gunsmith thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
And with Kinect, you basically use it to customize your guns. You can go inside and change everything about it.
Mm-hmm. I sculpt my guns at the gym every day.
Well, that's one way to upgrade them. But with Kinect, you'll reach into the gun, take out different parts, put in different parts, and then test them in a kind of simulation thing. Although it doesn't look like they're going to be doing it in main gameplay parts.
Right. It's just the simulations.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it's mostly designed for multiplayer.
So it's a possibility.
That's probably a way to test it out too. I mean, if it ends up being something that works really well, they'll probably integrate it into the game eventually.
Mm-hmm. So after that, Microsoft kind of went into talking about their new Xbox experience.
Right.
New. So it's not just the new Xbox experience that they had 2 years ago. It's their fully new experience.
Mm-hmm.
It has the same name as the last one, so it's confusing. But other than that, they're adding some cool stuff like Bing Search.
Yeah, the YouTube. Is on
Yeah,
there
YouTube
now.
is coming. So there's YouTube and Bing Search. Bing Search is not necessarily like searching the web; it's searching your console. So you could say Xbox, Bing, Batman was one of the examples they used, and then things like Batman on Netflix and Batman Arkham Asylum and Lego Batman and any kind of other Batman content like Batman the movie that was on Zune Marketplace. All that would show up, and it would give you a list of all these different Batman things just with the voice command.
Right.
So sorry guys, you can't Bing porn yet.
Not quite yet. That's I guess you could on the computer. You can plenty Bing porn over there, I'm sure.
Not on the Xbox one yet.
Although, if you're a God-fearing citizen of the world, I would suggest Google for your porn needs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you also fear your wife.
Remember, kids, safe search. And YouTube coming. Speaking of video content,
Yes.
YouTube's not quite pornographic, but
Speak for yourself.
I guess YouTube though. Is there anything? Are we going to use YouTube a lot
That's
on there?
not really something I'm especially excited about. I mean,
Are you excited to Bing Batman and have a bunch of cosplayers dancing as Batman on YouTube show up?
No.
That's the closest thing they would probably have to searching the web, I think.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm excited about YouTube. I know I'm on it a lot, and I'd rather watch it on the TV than on a computer anyway.
That's understandable. Yeah.
And the nice thing about YouTube is it does have a lot more high def content now,
Mhm.
so it'll look great on your new your big TV screen or whatever you put it on.
Yeah. Your movie projector.
Other than that, something that I'm not too interested in, but I don't know about you guys, but UFC is coming to Xbox Live.
Yeah, it's not.
It's part of their live TV thing. I don't think it's necessarily connected to that. But they're having live TV coming, and they're going to have UFC on Xbox Live. And Xbox Live
And
is
for
gonna
those
have
of you that don't know, that stands for Ultimate Fried Chicken.
Ultimate Fried Chicken, right?
So
and so
delicious.
you can bet on how many pieces of chicken they're going to have in each bucket against your friends on Xbox Live, and that's what you always wonder, right?
It's anyone's guess, really.
But so UFC Ultimate Fighting Challenge, you can bet against your friends online. If you're into UFC, it sounds pretty cool, but I'm not.
What I mean is it wagering real money? Is it wagering gamer score?
I don't. It wasn't too clear. I don't think it's gamer score or money. I think it's more of a point system, kind of
Okay.
like a poker game
Yeah.
on Xbox Live.
That's how I want to spend my evenings.
And they talked about, like I said, the live TV coming to Xbox Live,
Mhm.
but they didn't go too much into detail, like who they were partnering with, other than they said that there were, I think Fox was
Yeah.
signed on to be part of that.
All right, so that I don't really understand. I mean, why wouldn't you just watch your television if you're going to do that?
Not everyone has cable. They might just have an internet connection.
It would be nice if you could DVR things, because I don't have a DVR personally, and I'd like to be able to save that to my hard drive on
Remember
Yeah.
that Microsoft Xbox DVR?
and pause live television. I don't have a cable box like a lot of people, so
Right.
it'd be a nice little advantage for me. Other than that, they talked about just the overall way that they're integrating Kinect more into the user interface of the Xbox with this new
Yeah.
Xbox experience.
Yeah, they're really pushing it.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people who don't have Kinect are going to be a little left out with the Xbox here.
Yeah.
At least in the future as far as getting new things. There will be plenty of games, but I think on the content side, outside of things like YouTube, most of it's going to be for Kinect. They have the Kinect Fun Labs coming. Well, that's out now, with more apps coming.
And I was happy to see that Christopher Lloyd did the promo for that. Haven't seen him since Back to the Future.
Gotta
Right.
love Christopher Lloyd and anything Back to the Future
I thought he
related.
was dead.
Why wouldn't he be?
There were no
No,
roads
he's not. He's alive.
He's
And he's in the Old West.
gone back.
to the future. So, Connect is also something they're trying to pitch more hardcore games at, right?
Right. I mean, they're integrating into stuff that maybe hardcore gamers would buy, but
But they're also
wouldn't
showing
otherwise
some
use.
more Connect exclusive hardcore titles. Specifically, I'm thinking of Rise.
Rise looked pretty badass.
yeah,
Rise
I saw that.
is basically a 300 simulator for Connect.
And-
So if you liked that scene in 300 where he kicks the guy into a pit, you do that a lot in this game.
That's
It's
half
made by
the gameplay.
Crytek. It's beautiful, and it's Connect. I can't wait to kick
You get to
into pits.
headbutt people and slit their throats. I mean, what more could you want?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I haven't seen enough on it to say whether I'm, definitely going to purchase it day one, but it does look really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Another big one, Fable: The Journey,
Right.
which is an on-rails spellcasting game
Yeah.
with Connect. I like Fable.
I don't
So
mind
it's a
it.
Harry
I don't
Potter
mind it.
version of Fable.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit like a better version of what they did with Harry Potter 7 Connect functionality last year, the game.
Right.
Where it was an on-rails where you fling your hands about and
Yeah,
and say flipendo and things like that.
Wingardium
Little
Leviosa!
I've never had a problem with the on-rail genre. I like the games like Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. Dead Space Extraction was fun.
But are you excited to play those on Connect?
I don't know. I would have to see how they do it.
I'm excited for
honestly.
things like Child of Eden with Connect, which is
Mhm.
the spiritual successor to Rez, one of my favorite kind of rhythm games.
Right.
Rhythm shooting. Classic game for the Dreamcast and
I feel like-
PS2.
I feel
It's
like
on
that-
Xbox Arcade if you haven't seen it. If you haven't got it yet, go get that game.
Get
It's
it.
awesome.
But yeah, I feel like that. If you're integrating it into a rhythm style game, I feel like it fits a little bit better than it would, say, with the on rails genre.
Yeah, I think the locking on a mechanic will work really well there. I haven't seen gameplay for what they're doing with Fable yet. Maybe it'll be kind of lock on. Hopefully, it'll be good. I like Fable. I hope they do well.
Oh, another game I know Tony's excited about, Dance Central 2, was also announced.
Oh yes,
Mhm.
Dance Central 2 this time, 2 players simultaneously.
You don't
Yeah.
have to sit
Dance
around
off.
waiting to take your turn.
Yeah, there is a lot of cool stuff. You don't have to do the freestyle sections anymore in this game,
Right.
which is nice. If you didn't like those, because you're like me and you don't really know how to dance, you know how to follow directions better than actually do.
I just kind of
Yeah,
flopped around the
generally
floor
just wave
naked
my
most
arms
of the
around,
time.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was naked every time that happened.
Well,
Yeah, the problem is they just constantly take pictures of me when I'm naked.
Makes me a little
Connect is-
self-conscious.
It didn't help that I had it in my bedroom for a while. That was a bad place to keep Connect, I think.
yeah.
So are you guys excited? Dance Central 2 has import of all the Dance
Right.
Central 1 songs.
Right, I
So
saw
you can
that.
do all that. And then announced some new songs like that hot new track Like a G6. You guys like that?
G6.
They got Bulletproof by LaRue. Rude Boy by Rihanna. There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
Do they have any good music?
It's
what about
Dance
DJ,
Central.
what
so
about DJ Got Us Fall in Love by Usher? That's a hot single right there, right? That's bringing the fat beats, as the kids are saying. these
I
days.
wrote that song for him.
Another game, surprise, big shocker, coming to not necessarily that it's coming to Xbox, but that it's coming with Kinect support is Minecraft,
Yeah.
which we know is coming to Android and iOS. But I think this is the first console announcement of it.
Yeah.
There was a indie game that was kind of a rip off of it on Xbox Live Indie Games. It's out there right now. I think you can go get it. But this is full on Minecraft, and somehow it has Kinect support. Though
Which
they
game are
didn't-
you referring to?
I don't remember the name of it, but if you go on Xbox Live Indie Games, it's one of the most popular ones.
Terraria?
No, it's like something craft. I think.
Oh.
Dungeon Craft or.
Oh, okay.
It's a blatant rip off of Minecraft, but
Okay.
if you wanted Minecraft on Xbox, this was your only way for now.
Until now.
So those were the kind of hardcore games. Then there were also some other Kinect games that were not so hardcore, like Disneyland, Kinect Disneyland.
Yeah, that looked pretty stupid.
Now let me tell you something. If this game lets me somehow become a child again and give Mickey Mouse a hug, I'm on board.
Actually, in the video, you get to give Mickey Mouse a high five.
See, that's cool, and I'm down with that. as long as they make my silhouette in the game shorter than Mickey Mouse. Because Mickey Mouse
Right.
has to be taller than me. I have to experience being a kid again. I want to look up at Mickey Mouse and be like, I love you.
You also get to fly around Neverland with Peter Pan and collect Mickey Mouse coins.
Yeah, it's it's a Disneyland collection of mini games. It looks interesting. It could be good. It could be bad. It's not for me. It's for kids.
Maybe
Yeah.
a game fly for your children.
Speaking of for kids, Connect Star Wars is a Star Wars minigame collection, very
Yep.
much in the same vein, but with Star Wars instead.
For kid, I was most excited about that out of any of the Kinect games.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and it's one
I
of those
am a
games
child.
where you think it would be more for adults, but it looks almost Clone Warsy. It's
Yeah. Like, it definitely has that art style.
yeah, it's
seeming.
it's not a mature game. It's not gonna be your what was the Force Unleashed. It's not gonna be kind of
Right,
like that.
yeah.
It's more of your standard.
Republic Commando.
I'm just excited to take control of the lightsaber for the first time.
The first
It's
time.
like when I lost my virginity. It'll last about 2 seconds.
Did you hear how you turn on the lightsaber in this?
Do I want to know?
You say lightsaber on.
That's definitely
It's
not
voice activated,
Yep.
which is not canon. I don't
not
believe.
canon. No.
Although
That's all a woman has
I think
to
a
do
Jedi,
to get me
I think a Jedi, if
aroused.
they wanted to, could just turn it on with their mind. So
Right. I mean, all they would
Force
have to
push
do
the
is,
button.
Yeah, force push the activation plate.
Erection on. Uh-oh, guys.
Speaking of
Inappropriate.
erections, how about Double Fine's Once Upon a Monster, Sesame Street? I didn't know.
How does
I
that
didn't-
how
I
does
did
that
not know it would
segue exactly?
Well, it doesn't. So
Okay.
moving
Anyway,
on.
well,
That's all we'll
speaking
say
of
about that
baby
one.
games for Connect,
right.
we
Can't
have,
wait to feed
Well,
Cookie
Tim,
Monster.
Tim Schafer is
He's a great developer.
He owns Double Fine. I have complete faith in him as a developer. So
yeah, and he wants to make a game for his kids. So
Yeah.
if he wants
I like
to go
Sesame
for it.
Street.
I want to make a game for my kids, so I draw a tic-tac-toe board on a piece of paper.
Similar.
I'm a great developer.
Activision would probably hire you.
I sure hope so.
And then they'd fire you about a year later.
Yep.
So good luck with that. They also talked a little bit about Gears of War 3. We know a lot
Right.
about it, but they showed a campaign trailer that was pretty new. I don't know if it was brand new for it, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah. I'll definitely play it.
It definitely brings in his father, which
Yeah.
we all kind of thought that was going to happen.
And they
Right.
had
I
to
mean,
bring him in.
They,
They hinted
they
at.
referenced him several times throughout the.
Yeah, so he's finally a
First
character
couple
with a
games.
voice and a face and everything, like a real boy. And I think the
A real
last thing we're going to talk
boy.
about from Microsoft is Connect Sports Season 2.
Yeah.
Go out with a whimper, not a bang, right?
I never played the.
I think
never played the first
we
one.
unfortunately you guys jumped a little bit ahead to the Halo stuff, so we couldn't finish with that. But
Well,
are you guys excited at all about Connect Sports Season 2?
I have Wii Sports, so
I
I'm
still
fine.
have yet to play Connect Sports. I
played the
pretend to
demo.
play it as my TV is off. I'll
I
just
did
kick
play the
soccer
demo.
balls at my television set.
Well, I'd still rather buy that than the Ubisoft sports games that they have for Connect. Those things, Motion Sports looks just dreadful. All right, so moving on past Microsoft,
Yep.
we're gonna jump right into EA, who started off their press conference with Mass Effect 3,
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
which we've talked about it a little bit. We talked about the Connect stuff, but my God, this game looks so good.
oh my god.
I mean,
I was gonna buy it.
yeah, all they have to do is put the words Mass Effect 3 on a box, and I will buy it.
Yeah.
But they're just going all out. They're saying this is gonna be the best one in the series, and I'm believing them.
Well, it's BioWare, so.
And Zach, you still haven't finished 1 or 2.
I have yet to purchase one. And
You own 2 though, yes.
I played about an hour and a half into 2.
I'm gonna make you
So
play
you've
that
only
some more.
got, let's see, what, 30 hours to go, something like
Yeah,
ish.
it'll take me about 13 years.
that? Okay.
Get back to me
At
in
your present rate of progress?
24, yeah.
Okay.
The problem is he can only play while he's having sex, and that's only a couple seconds at a
never
time.
happens.
It's like, yeah, it's very rare, and it's a few seconds at a time.
I don't remember it if I do.
Moving on, we got Need for Speed: The Run, which
The
is the
Runs?
new Need for Speed game. It's different because in this one you get out and you start running,
So.
hence the run.
So it's Grand Theft Auto.
So they're going with
Wrong.
the Tony Hawk.
Because-
going with the Tony Hawk Underground direction here.
You'd think so, but it's more just quick time events when you get out of the car.
Huh.
It's more of a way for them to get you from one car to the other and from race to race.
Huh.
So it's
So you take a
It's
pee break and
interesting.
get back
I'm
in
looking at
another car.
screenshots here. It looks like there's some parkour going on.
yeah. I think that's all quick time event based. You're
Yeah.
You're gonna tap one button to run. You're gonna tap, another button to
tapping
jump over
one button
things.
to run. Okay. Well,
I hope not, but-
my favorite thing. Thanks, Rockstar.
But you get the idea.
My thumbs are huge.
We'll have to see how it is. Need for Speed's good. Who's
I
making that? Do you know? Does it say?
Developer-wise.
Yeah. Do you know who the developer is on that?
Let's see.
Black Box.
Black Box. Yeah.
So they're a good team. They make good games. What else do we have? We have BioWare again.
With the Old Republic.
Old Republic, the first MMO I've ever really, really wanted to play.
Yeah. Well.
Do you know why? Because it's BioWare.
Well. Yeah. Exactly.
I hope you get to say lightsabers on.
I don't think
I
there's
don't.
Kinect support in this one.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
think it's
play
on the
this.
Xbox either.
I've lost interest already.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot about this. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
It's coming out, was it 2012? Is it 2011? Late 2012?
Do you guys think it'll take out WoW?
No. Nothing is ever going to take out WoW. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the game, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Dante would have to disagree with you and say that Rift is going to be the WoW game.
Well, Dante, I mean,
Isn't Rift already out?
no
Yeah.
offense to the guy, but he's probably
Is
wrong.
WoW dead?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think it's a WoW
I think
killer.
it's dying.
It's definitely not.
Millions of subscribers, but it's slowly dying.
Alright, so let's briefly talk about EA's sports games. We have FIFA 12, Madden 12.
Move on.
They are definitely coming out with more
They are
sports
coming
games
out
this
with
year.
more this year. The only one they are not coming out with is, again, NBA 11 Elite, which is canceled because they didn't have one last year and they're not going to have one this year. Not until next year when we see a new simulation game. We're going to see that new NBA Jam game this year. But the one sports game I am a little bit interested in, it's not exactly a team sports game. It's SSX, the new one.
The new sports. The
SSX
snowboarding
Modern Warfare, where you jump out of helicopters onto, I think, terrorists. It's mountains of terrorists.
This is a thing?
Well, it's very gritty.
Tony, put down that acid.
Have you guys seen the trailers for this thing?
No.
No.
It very much looks like those mountain scenes in Call of Duty,
Huh.
where you're jumping out of helicopters. A lot of the early trailers, I think, were first person.
Yeah.
So it gives that impression. It's more of a survival. They're calling it a survival sports game. So you're surviving against the elements. In it, it could be interesting. I think a lot of people are writing it off really early.
I'd rather play a Survivor Man game or Bear Grylls game.
Bear Grylls.
Didn't they make one of those for someone? They had a game
I think they
for one of
did.
those celebrities who does something like that, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like
Well.
a DS game.
I'm not sure what you'd expect from.
I'm gonna eat my own poop.
Alright, another big megaton from EA is The Sims coming to Facebook.
Yeah.
Big time.
This,
you guys feel-
this doesn't really.
You guys gonna jump on that?
It doesn't really apply to
getting on
me.
that.
I don't
have
think
a Facebook,
I-
and I've never liked The Sims.
I don't think I've played a Facebook game ever.
Well, there you
I,
go.
I do play some Facebook games. I played some when Facebook games were first around. I kind of grew out of it, but then I played Dragon Age on the Dragon Age tie-in game they had on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
which unlocked some stuff in Dragon Age 2, which is cool.
Huh.
They do different things like that. Obviously, the most popular things are Farmville and things
Yeah.
like that. But if Sims is going in there, I'm interested.
Just another reason
They seem
for
like
people
someone who
to
could make a
never
good game.
leave their homes. Their Sims are going to go grocery shopping for
Yeah,
them.
there was a creepy video they showed where one of the characters had an intimate encounter with one of the other Sims online, and they didn't know if it was a real person or a computer, I believe, and it was weird.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
I'm excited to
This
have
is how
affairs
things like
with several
Skynet
women
happen.
on my
That was
Facebook.
bad. Super bad.
This is how Terminator happens. This is how it starts.
So then there's another game called Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Huh.
Worst name of the press conference, I believe. Couldn't they just call it
of
Reckoning
Amalur.
or Kingdom of Amalur?
Amalur.
It's, it's another action game. It's very pretty.
That's-
What else is there to say? I'm not terribly excited about it.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot. There to
I don't think there's
talk
too much about it. It's kind of a mix of God of War with Oblivion, from my understanding.
Mhm.
there's a high chance I will pass on that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something more exciting. Although it wasn't exciting during the press conference, was Battlefield 3.
Mm-hmm.
During the press conference, they showed tank combat, one-on-one
Yeah.
tanks. That was pretty boring. But this game looks amazing, and
It really does. Graphically, it's just incredible.
graphically, yeah. I don't know how great it's going to look on consoles, but
I'm sure
it
they'll
looks-
do their best.
yeah, it's going to look
To make it
it's going to look good on consoles, and it's going to look amazing on PC.
Right. I think they're also they're scaling down map sizes because there's less players per match
Mm-hmm.
on the servers. So
So what do you think is going to win, Battlefield 3 or Modern Warfare 3?
I think Modern Warfare
in terms
3
of
is gonna
sales,
take it.
definitely Modern Warfare 3. I mean, it's just established itself as
It's not the time for it to pass on, huh?
No,
Fair enough.
Not sure it's
I
gonna
feel like
die anytime soon.
it's definitely Battlefield 3 is definitely gonna outsell on the PC, I'd say, but on consoles, it's
Yeah, it's so hard to tell with PC because they don't have such concrete sales data. You don't
Right.
get Steam data. You only get real sales data from box copies, and
Right.
what PC gamer really buys box copies
not a
anymore?
lot of people.
Very few. All right, so that's about it for EA.
Mhm.
Next up was Ubisoft. This is their 25th anniversary press conference.
Really?
Yes, they've been around for 25 years now, and they took the opportunity to start with one of their mascots, which is Rayman, with his new game Rayman Origins.
When was the last time a Rayman game was released that wasn't a Rabbids game?
1938.
That was
Not sure that's accurate, but
It's about right. I think it was on
You'll have-
the
yeah.
GameCube, PS2, and Xbox with Rayman 3.
right.
You know, that was a it was an okay game. This is a 2D game, and that was 3D.
Right, in the style of the original PS1 game.
Right,
Or
and
the
it's
GBA port.
absolutely gorgeous, hand-drawn 2D sprites,
But
beautiful
they need-
HD textures. It's a great-looking game.
Yep.
The animations look solid in the trailers and stuff. I don't know if it's a downloadable game, though. Is it a downloadable game, or is it a full retail game? Because
I don't know if I'd pay for full retail.
exactly. And it has co-op. It has a lot of cool features. It looks great. I want to play it, but do I want to pay more than $15 for it? Probably.
I don't feel like they'd be, talking about their press conference if it wasn't a full retail game, though.
Well, I think it's one of their mascots.
Yeah.
It's a flagship character for them. I think there's no reason they wouldn't put it in there, even if it was a downloadable game. Downloadable games have gotten a lot more traction lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, especially at the start of a press conference, they
Yeah.
could start off with a downloadable game. Then they moved on to Driver, San Francisco.
Right.
How long has it been since there's been a driver game?
Last one I
Drive
can
3-er, I believe.
Yeah, Drive 3-er.
Except for maybe handheld ones. There was maybe a
Yeah.
game for the DS. But this one is interesting because it takes place while you're in a coma. And you teleport between cars with your mind powers.
Is this?
This isn't a joke. This is serious.
This is something that's
This is a
actually
serious
happening.
thing that's happening in the real world for real. I am absolutely serious when I tell you that your character's in a coma, and he keeps playing out these events in his head, and the big gimmick is that you can jump between cars, like I said.
Uh-huh.
It's the stupidest concept I've ever heard.
That's
It,
not the worst.
Coma
I've ever-
portation.
it could be good, but it also seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what these press conferences have been about, it seems like, at the C3.
Yeah. That's
Things that could be a really good idea, or the worst idea ever.
I think they're just going as crazy as they possibly can.
Well, you don't take a risk, you never find out what works, I suppose.
True, the next game that they announced was something I'm really, really, really excited about because I love the second one in this series,
Mhm.
Far Cry 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Super pumped. Far Cry 2 was one of the best games ever of 2008.
The best games ever of
Yes,
2000.
ever of 2008 is what I'm saying. So all the games forever in 2008. But here we got Far Cry 3. It looks to be, as far as I can tell, the same team. It looks like it's more of a jungle setting this time.
Yeah,
kind
as
of like the
opposed to
first
the,
one. It's more of a mix between the.
Serengeti.
Yeah, the second game was very much set in Africa. I think it was South Africa.
I know it was Africa, I didn't...
So it takes place in Africa, the last one. This one looks more like a rainforest kind of environment.
Yeah.
And the first one was, of course, on an island environment.
Right.
So that's what this series is all about.
Seems
It's
to
about
be.
putting you in these, kind of remote locations and you have this
With
big
really-
old open world and missions and stuff. And
Really pretty
I'm
stuff.
excited to see what they do with this. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful game.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Brothers in Arms 4 or Furious 4?
I can pass on it.
I'm not excited at all. It looks
No.
like they're taking Brothers in Arms, which was a serious kind of realistic take on super realistic, but
Mhm.
more realistic than your Call of Duties take on World War II, and now it looks like they're kind of going over the top, Inglourious
Yeah.
Basterds style. Which is interesting. It could be really cool, but that's
Well, something I'm excited about coming up next, the Tintin game.
Tintin, huh?
Oh,
Yep.
The Adventures of the Unicorn, huh? Something like that.
I don't know if that's the actual subtitle, but I don't know if they've even come out with one yet for it. But
So what's this? What's it for?
Tintin
What
is the
system?
most wordless game ever.
fuck the haters, I love Tintin. Can we swear on this podcast?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Fuck yes, we can.
Okay.
So what is your history with Tintin? I'm not familiar with the character.
I've read the books, just the comics. They're great.
Mm-hmm. So, what system is it for? Do you
Looks
know?
to be on Xbox, and I guess it's multi-plat. Since it's Ubisoft, they generally do multi-plat games.
And since it is coming out as a movie, I'm guaranteeing it's multi-platform.
Yeah.
The fact that it is a movie video game pretty much dooms it, though.
It's not always the case, but yeah, probably. I'd
Yeah.
still play it.
He's going to use Kinect?
I doubt it.
Fair enough. Well, you know what's going to use Kinect, though? Raving Rabbids Alive and Kicking.
Yeah, oh boy.
Who's excited to play some Raving Rabbids and
I know
Kinect it?
me and Tony used to play it on the Wii together.
Yeah! We could hit the dance songs.
This is
All the-
something I'm excluded from.
Yeah, there are all those terrible licensed tracks that were sung by the Rabbids that you could dance to with the Wii remote.
Oh my
Very
God.
much like Just Dance. So you had Just Dance gameplay with songs sung by Rabbids.
might-
Like
that's-
girls just want to have fun.
That sounds terrible.
It might be a fun game.
It was
to get
hilarious,
drunk-
but terrible.
might be a fun game to get drunk and play.
Oh, definitely. And speaking of games that'll be fun to get drunk and play, Just Dance 3.
There you go.
This time, though, they're going to all the consoles, and I'm sure they're going to sell a shitload, just like they have every other year. I mean, it's the Call of Duty of dance games.
Yep.
And now that they're going to go on Xbox with the Kinect and PS3 with the Move,
Right.
they're in good shape. And another Kinect title they have coming is Your Shape 2012, which is, of course, the sequel to one of the launch titles for the Kinect. Nothing too exciting there, more workouts, but if you liked that, there you go. You got more of it.
All right.
And they finished their press conference with Assassin's Creed Revelations
Which is part 3 in the
Assassin's Creed
2
trilogy. Right. So it's Assassin's Creed 2, 3.
Right.
And this time
Brotherhood 2.
it's in Istanbul. Not Constantinople, though.
No.
Just Istanbul.
We're not going to go back to this, are we?
We're not. We're not doing this.
I thought Istanbul was Constantinople.
No.
Is that not right? Okay.
I'm going to break out in song if we don't.
So,
I'm a big fan of the series, so
yeah, he's going to Istanbul, and there's going to be some crossover with Altair. You know, some
yeah. How does
gameplay.
that work?
It looks like flashback. It's kind of an Inception thing where you're playing it as Desmond, who is in this, animus world playing
Right.
as Ezio, who is somehow playing as Altair.
It's an
It's
assassination
Inception.
within an assassination.
Right. I wish I had
Okay,
the Inception soundboard. Boom.
Do they try to assassinate each other?
I doubt it.
Or do they team up to do the triple hidden blades?
I think they might just be doing a thing where you flash back, and
So it's not two of
it's
them
like
in the same
it's-
place and time.
right. It's more of a
Okay.
switching thing. It's not a co-op thing. I think it's going to be Ezio gets to a point where he can't progress any further. He
Okay.
says, "I think my ancestor has something to do with this," and then Altair goes and does it, and then hey, look, this bridge is now fine.
Let me
It'll probably
remind
something
myself.
dumb
So
like
it's
that.
singularity?
Yeah, it'll be dumb.
Okay.
but it'll be Assassin's Creed, so it'll be a fun
So
game.
it'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be a fun
There you
game,
go.
but it'll have a stupid concept. I mean, what else is new? It's Ubisoft. Crazy French people, I tell you. They don't know what they're doing. So let's move over to Japanese people with Sony.
Oh boy.
This was the last press conference of Monday, and the first one we have some new hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of new hardware, actually. They announced a new 3D television,
Yes.
a 24-inch 1080p LED 3D television that comes with a copy of Resistance 3 and glasses for $500. It's
Yeah, I was about to ask what the price tag.
yeah, it's
That's
PlayStation branded.
It's
not bad.
actually really good pricing on a 3D TV.
Yeah, I think it's great for anyone who has an apartment, a small
Yeah.
apartment, or a dorm room. It's a great
Yeah, it's a
size for
perfect
that.
size.
So what if you don't have a PlayStation though?
It works with any kind of 3D technology.
Yeah.
It's standard 3D TV.
Yeah.
It's just branded PlayStation. So
Yeah, it's bundled with.
I'll just use my Resistance as a coaster. Even though I did love the first Resistance game. Never,
Yeah,
I never
the
had a
second
chance to
one.
play.
never got the chance to play the other ones.
I never
and
had a
then,
chance to play.
and the
either.
third one, of course, is coming out later this year when the TV's coming out.
Right.
So you have a lot of TV. With this 3D TV, the reason they're putting it out there is because they have a lot of 3D games coming out. You know,
Mhm.
recently they had Mortal Kombat, Uncharted is going in 3D, Ratchet and Clank All for One is in 3D. You know, there's just a ton of stuff.
Yeah, Uncharted 3 in 3D is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I've heard Uncharted 3 is one of the first games to really use 3D to its advantage and kind of be designed with that in mind.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see an
It'll be, the
Avatar-like situation.
it'll be the Avatar of games.
We can hope so. I'd love to see an Avatar, not movie game obviously, but something with that equivalent
Yeah.
in the game space. Something that kind of brings 3D into the forefront.
Mhm.
And I think the best place for that probably is the 3DS, where you have 3D for everyone.
Right.
But it's nice to see Sony at least trying with their 3D push.
And also, it looks like Resistance 3 has move support.
Yes.
There's a peripheral with
There's
the
the
gun thing.
yeah, it's their sharpshooter
Oh, is that
peripheral.
what it's called? Okay. That's going for $150.
Yeah. And really, we should have started talking about this with what they started talking about, and that's they spent the first part of this press conference apologizing for the PSN being down.
Yeah.
I was
And it's
gonna
finally
ask
back
about
up.
that.
It's back up. We're happy to say that.
All right.
In Japan also?
I don't know. I believe. I hope.
I
God,
hope so.
I really hope it is. I haven't heard, but yeah, it's PSN, the store, and everything's back up. So everyone who has a PS3 out there can rejoice. They talked a lot about.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, there's not much more to say about that. Go grab your free stuff while you can.
Right.
They talked a lot about Uncharted 3 and Resistance 3. The two big threes they have coming out. There's not much more to say about those
Yep.
games. They look great. Resistance 3 takes the series in a whole new direction with its more on the road, not military based, but more of a refugee kind of thing. And Uncharted 3, of course, looks stunning.
You think
Which is kind of the direction that Gears of War 3 is going too, from what I've seen.
You also see a lot of HD collections coming from Sony.
Yeah, the God of War PSP games,
Yeah, God of War PSP games are getting HD
Origins.
remakes.
right?
Ico and Shadow of the Colossus,
That's something
um,
I'd
of
look
course,
forward to.
already announced but are coming still.
Mhm.
Shadow Colossus
Makes me really
was
wish I
a
had a PlayStation
fantastic
3.
game.
Makes me really wish I had a PlayStation 3.
I know I would play that game again and again.
Also, it'd be nice to replay them again before The Last Guardian comes out.
Nothing like climbing up a big hairy man and then stabbing.
Your mileage may vary.
That's one way to put it.
Yes.
Don't take that sexually.
Right. I mean,
They also
how
talked-
could anyone?
No.
How could you? Infamous 2, they talked a little bit about that. It just came out yesterday. So it's on store shelves. We don't have a review out. We probably won't have a review. We don't have anyone with a PS3 who is going to review it.
We'll have Blair play it.
Yeah, we tried to get Brian to play it, but he's way too busy, so apparently. So Infamous 2 looks good. Go buy it right now. It's out there. If you have a PS3, go purchase it with your money dollars. They announced Little Big Planet 2. I think they announced early on that it was going to have move support, but it hasn't come yet, so they're patching that in soon, I think by the
Right.
fall. They talked a little bit about Starhawk, which is their spin-off from Warhawk.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a full single-player campaign. It's brand new. series with its own timeline and everything. It looks interesting. It's kind of a big multiplayer shooter, but like I said, this time I think they're focusing more on the single player, so it kind of remains to be seen how well they can pull that off. They're kind of untested in that regard.
Well, I never played Warhawk.
On the PS1 or the PS3, probably.
Right. Probably not either.
What's a PlayStation?
Yeah, you guys may not be the best people.
It's like a bad Xbox.
We need a PlayStation expert.
Oh,
here.
one of those.
Another big announcement: Sly Cooper's
Sly
coming
Cooper.
back. Sly Cooper 4 is called Thieves in Time. Just Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, coming in 2012 with move support and 3D. You guys excited for that?
Well, I like the Sly games, so I mean, I wish again I don't have a PlayStation 3, so not really something I can get too excited about, but
I'm excited to see the box art.
Something I know that our editor-in-chief Dante is really excited about is this new Dust game that ties
Dust
in.
514.
Yeah, 514. It ties in with EVE Online. It's a first-person shooter MMO that ties in with EVE Online, which is of course an RPG online where there's all those sorts of crazy deals that you always hear about.
Right.
Nobody loves MMOs more than Dante.
Right. So when you have two MMOs that talk to each other, he's all about that. Maybe we'll talk a little more about that once we have him on.
Until they start.
He was supposed to be on
conspiring
this episode, but he's not here.
against him. If we don't hear from him for a while, we'll know what happened.
Exactly. One of the big surprises of Sony's show was BioShock's Ken Levine coming out, talking about how they're putting move support into BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
So, while one of the best games of next year is getting better with Kinect, with Mass Effect 3, one of the best games of next year is going to get better with Move, apparently. So that's cool.
We'll see how that goes.
Move gets a bad rap, but I think the fact that it's getting put into a lot of games is a great thing for people who have a Move. It's good.
Right. I mean, there has to be they're trying really hard to give, a reason to have it.
I mean, look at the games
Pretty
they
much
put it
like
in. It's a lot
Microsoft
more
is.
serious than the Kinect games have been.
Yeah, I think we're going to see them doing a lot of stuff with both of these motion technologies. But Ken Levine was there for more than just the announcement of that. He also talked about the fact that he's doing a spin-off BioShock game for NGP, or as it's now called, the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
Not much to say about the game, really quick. Before we move on to the Vita. The name.
I like the name.
No. Before we get on to the name of the Vita.
Okay.
we're
BioShock.
Just the BioShock game for NGP. It's gonna be cool.
I don't see how they could make it bad.
Okay, so we're excited about that. And on to the NGP, which is now known as the PlayStation Vita, or PSV.
Sounds like a coffee drink.
It sounds like a coffee drink, it sounds like tea, it sounds like...
I'd drink a Vita.
yeah, it sounds like venti, which is large at Starbucks.
Right.
Delicious Vita.
So, if you want a large coffee, you can also have a new PSP, I guess.
All right, there we go.
They announced pricing, which is cool. $250 for your Wi-Fi model and $300 for an AT&T model. That you get a subscription with that. The pricing really, really aggressive here.
Yeah, really, obviously trying to compete with the 3DS. Which
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's going to be a whole lot to compete with. I haven't really seen a whole lot.
Yeah, I think the fact that they announced it at $250 means I'm going to buy one day one.
Yeah.
Because that looks like great technology for that price. I'm still not enthusiastic about that name.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll grow on us. All these names do.
What's in a
Dreamcast, Wii. We've had terrible names in the past here.
Yeah.
But
What's
come
in
on,
a
Vita.
name,
It sounds like a bad Sony cell phone.
Yeah. Sounds like something that Nokia would come out with.
It sounds like something that someone like Pantech or Kyocera would make, and would be a prepaid phone. It sounds terrible, but it looks really great.
Yeah.
It's a portable PS3, about 2/3 of a PS3-ish. It's got all those really cool connectivity things with taking your games with you on the go, so you can transfer certain games over and keep your saves between a portable version and a home version. You can do cross-game voice chat. You can do all the kind of social connections you would want to do on any kind of online service.
Right.
I think that's exciting. They have a lot of cool games going for it too, like the new
Yeah,
Uncharted
Uncharted I
NGP, which is Uncharted but tiny. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, maybe.
it reminds me a lot of what they did with the God of War games.
Yeah.
They have Little Big Planet coming to NGP.
Mm-hmm.
I keep calling it that, but the PSV, the PlayStation Vita, it's gonna take a while to get used to that.
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna keep calling it the NGP. It sounds way better.
They are bringing Street Fighter Cross Tekken,
Of course.
to the PlayStation Vita,
Of course.
and an interesting announcement: they're bringing Cole from Infamous into the PlayStation versions of Street Fighter vs. Tekken. So you have him in the PS3 and Vita versions. Would that be a reason for you to get that version if you had both systems?
I doubt it. I feel like I'd probably play it on the if I had
On the Xbox?
Live, yeah.
Because of the online services and just
Yeah.
how it works, you think it's better?
Yeah. Although
Fair
I've heard the online community on the PlayStation 3 is a bit better, so.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen, it seems like the fighting game fans tend to stick to the Xbox. So.
The only problem with the Xbox is it has that terrible D-pad.
Well, if I was gonna really invest in getting a fighting game, I'd probably save up and buy a stick.
I mean, we all know that the future of fighting games is Fighters Uncaged for the Kinect, right? We can all be clear on that point.
That was fantastic.
That game is a 20 out of 10 super game.
Says if
It's one of the
somebody
best games I've ever played.
shit in a box.
Did you know that you can literally punch
Damn it.
someone with your hand?
Oh god.
It's the best game. Also, it doesn't recognize things very well. So there's that. Excuse me.
Okay,
You were actually supposed to take that game out of its box?
Yeah, it was
Made a really good
It was
paperweight.
more than a coaster. All right, and so at the end of the first day of E3, I guess it was the day before E3, but it's the day of all the major press conferences. They had the 3DS eStore launch, which you guys don't have 3DSs, but I do, and I downloaded the update. I downloaded a couple games. I got the free version of Excitebike 3D. I got Super Mario Land, $4. It was $3.99, and I picked up the Pokédex 3D, which was free.
No, that's a must-have.
Oh, it is. You wait till you see your Pokemon popping out.
Scan
of the
me
3D.
and tell me what kind of Pokemon I am.
Well, you are
Scyther. I already know
Zakamon.
the answer to that.
No,
I am a Scyther.
you are not a Scyther.
But this is
Scyther,
the, this.
Scyther.
Well, I think we can all say this is the definitive way to let me see your Pokemans. So you can finally show everyone all your Pokemans.
On the
Is that some sort of innuendo?
But then Nintendo starts the press conference and they announce that Link's Awakening DX is also coming as a press conference, and I download that, so I'm also playing that now.
Probably one of my favorite Zelda games.
Yeah,
Next
so
to,
there's a lot of
Majora's Mask.
there's only I think 3 Game Boy games, one of which I bought, and then 1 Game Boy Color game, which is Link's Awakening DX, and then a couple other stuff. But there's not a lot out there right now. They put up some trailers for E3 games, which is interesting. So if you want to look at the trailers in 3D, you can do that. But other than that, hopefully they're going to put out stuff every week, like with DSiWare. Oh, all the DSiWare stuff's up there too. I didn't pick up any of that, but so if you have anything to transfer over, you can do all that stuff. And now we're going to... Actually, before we move on to Nintendo,
Okay.
there's one thing I do want to talk about. Last week on our podcast, I said that I thought that both Sony and Microsoft would have price drops. And they didn't at all.
They did not.
No one dropped any prices at their press conferences, and no one's talking about it. How long can Sony keep selling their PS3 for $300?
As long as it keeps being a Blu-ray player.
I understand
I think.
that Microsoft's doing fine. The Xbox is selling better than it ever has.
Mhm.
The Wii obviously just got a price drop. No surprise that we didn't get another one. But PS3? No 250, no 200 model with a smaller hard drive, maybe?
It really, it doesn't make sense because you can get a Blu-ray player for cheaper than that.
They have
now.
$200 Blu-ray players out there. I think if they can get the PS3 out there for $250 or $200, they could sell a lot more of those. So shame on you guys for not.
Because
and
they're Japanese,
honestly,
I
I
think.
blame Microsoft for setting a bad example for Sony.
Yeah.
They started it. They should have dropped the price at their press conference, and they set a bad example for Sony. So shame on you, Microsoft, as well. Now moving on to the Nintendo E3 press conference, the last press conference of the show. They started off mainly by talking about Zelda's 25th anniversary.
Right.
They are going to be doing a orchestral tour in the United States and I think parts of Europe with a bunch of Zelda music.
Do you think they'll be coming here?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be coming around where we live. I know that
If they come as close as Chicago, we should definitely go see it.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Hey,
Personally, I'm not
whatever.
interested in seeing it. But I do know that Brian,
offense.
one of our other editors, Brian, was telling me today that he said he would drive any distance to see that. So I think there are
I
definitely
would.
people out there who are excited. Yeah, Colin says he's excited to see it.
I love musical orchestral concerts.
Yeah, so I think if you're interested in that kind of thing, that's cool. One of the other things they launched, Link's Awakening for DX for the 3DS, put it out there. Obviously, Ocarina of Time 3DS is coming out next
weeks.
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
It's the 19th, which...
Sunday,
That's
Sunday,
2 Sundays from now.
Sunday.
So in a couple Sundays we'll have that. They also announced that they are putting out a new version of Four Swords for 3DS and DSiWare.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know which version of Four Swords yet. Probably not the GameCube version. It may be a Game Boy Advance version or a brand new one. Hopefully they'll do the two-screen kind of concept since they do have two screens on the 3DS
Right.
and the DSi. They can do that. I'm excited for a new Four Swords.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I love Four Swords. I think it's going to be really, really cool to be able to do that. I hope more people get a DS that I know so we can play that together.
Why are you staring at me?
Because you need to buy a 3DS.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't get the point there.
Speaking of not dropping the price, they didn't drop the 3DS price after they announced
Yeah.
the GP price. So they're sticking to their guns even though it's not selling so hot yet.
Well, that's probably why Sony and Microsoft Nintendo didn't do something first, so they
Well,
don't know what to
Nintendo
do.
was last.
Right.
And then I think another big Zelda announcement, not huge, but they did announce that they're making a Gold Wii Remote Plus with the Zelda logo on it.
Ooh.
So for all those
Think you'll be getting that?
For all those huge Zelda fans, you can get that. I'm probably not gonna get that now. Anyone? Anyone here gonna get that? You gonna get a Gold Wii Remote?
How much is it?
Probably the same price as a Wii Remote.
Yeah, okay.
If you need a new Wii Remote, I guess that's the one to get.
Yeah, why not?
Other than that, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out for 3DS. There's Star Fox coming soon.
Mhm.
I think that they set a date for that. I don't know.
September 11th, I believe.
Yeah. Mario
So-
Kart's coming this year for 3DS, which is being helped. It's not necessarily being designed by Retro, but they're helping with it.
Mhm.
They're designing some of the tracks and stuff. Retro's a great studio.
Yep.
They did Metroid Prime Trilogy. They did Donkey Kong Returns most recently. I'm super excited they're working on that. They showed some new gameplay footage of Super Mario 3D,
Mhm.
which is the 3DS version, of course, of Mario. It's a 3D platformer.
Yeah, it's
It's
like 64
Mario in
or
3D,
Galaxy.
but in
Sunshine.
3D this
Right.
time. So, super exciting. It's a new Mario platformer. Who doesn't love that?
Hitler, I think?
Hitler does actually like that.
Oh, okay, well then, no one.
Saddam didn't like it, but he's dead, so
Oh, well,
whatever.
so no one anymore.
Right. All the people who didn't like it are dead.
Okay.
I know something that you're excited about, Colin.
What am I excited about?
A little game called Luigi's Mansion 2
Yes.
for 3DS.
Yes. Very much so.
Well, why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Well, I like the first game. I'm not sure what else. If it's more of the same, maybe add some new stuff in. It's
Would you say it's big enough to be your most anticipated 3DS game?
if I owned a 3DS, yes, it would be probably. I mean,
After that, they showed some more Kid Icarus Uprising, which
Mhm.
looks amazing. This is the first time I've gotten to see a trailer in 3D since they put the trailer out
Yeah.
on the download store.
Yeah,
And
the
3D
store.
makes it look so much better. If you have a 3DS, please go take a look at that on the eShop because it looks fantastic.
I'll have to take a look at that.
At the end of the trailer, they also showed some AR stuff for Kid Icarus, which has these cards. I don't know if it's a card game. It looks like it's kind of a card game that you can also, when you use the 3DS camera, it pops out the characters and has them stand up as a 3D model. So that's kind of cool. Nothing terribly exciting. It's there if you want to play it. It's probably not essential to the gameplay, though.
Yeah.
Other big 3DS announcements. We have Tekken 3D. Do you like Tekken?
I'm not a fan of it compared to other fighting games.
Yeah, I haven't really been a fan of Tekken since
Yeah.
PS1 era, I think. But, fighting games seem to work well as far as, in my experience, on the system. I really liked Super Street Fighter, so it could be good, especially since this is a 3D fighter, whereas Street Fighter is much more of a 2D fighter. It's on a plane.
Right.
It'd be
Feel
cool
like
to
the
see
3D
how the 3D will work with a 3D
Yeah, I feel like
fighter.
the 3D could be implemented better.
They announced Ace Combat 3D, 3D version of Tetris, which is hopefully just regular Tetris, but in 3D, maybe with some extra 3D modes, but hopefully they don't try to change the gameplay too much there.
Yeah, hopefully.
They showed some Cave Story 3D, which the art style is a little
I didn't see
iffy, but it's good. It's a full graphical rehaul. It's 2.5D.
Is it still the same game?
It's the same game,
Okay.
but it's you might move into or out of the foreground.
Okay.
You won't control whether you're doing that. It's more like if you're moving to the right, you'll suddenly move forward towards the screen or away from the screen. So that's good. It's a great game. It's been very popular on Wii and DSiWare, and now it's finally coming to.
Yeah, give that
3DS.
a try if you like.
I almost picked it up, the DSiWare version, but I decided against it. I played it on PC also, so if you wanted to give that game a try it on
Yeah,
PC.
definitely.
It's fantastic.
It's worth
free.
playing.
It's called Cave Story. They showed more Resident Evil Mercs and Revelations. Nothing really new there.
Yeah.
They showed a driver for 3DS, Pac-Man Dimensions, which is 3D, and a little bit more of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D,
Yeah.
which looks great,
Something I'm looking forward to.
but nothing. It's still an old game, just in 3D. They did have a cool little nod to it being on a Nintendo system, though. They put Yoshi in the trailer, so that was interesting. Kind of like they had with Twin Snakes back on GameCube. There was a point in that game where you could shoot a little figurine of Yoshi, and a little one-up would pop out. And it was a healing kind of ration thing.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But after this was the megaton, of course, of the show. They announced the Wii U.
Yeah, the new.
The Wii Me?
The Wii U, as in the letter U. W-I-I space capital U.
Kind of another disappointing
is the-
name.
Yeah, I'm not sure I much care for that name yet.
No one knows how to name anything anymore. And like I was telling Colin before we started the podcast, I think I figured out the perfect name. Just the Nintendo U. Why do you have to call it the Wii U?
Yeah.
Every time...
Just the U is much.
every time I
catchier.
hear Wii U, I think of the British sirens. Wii U, Wii
Yeah.
U, Wii U, Wii U. And I can't stand that. That's going to drive me crazy.
Just the fact that they call it the Wii U makes it seem like it's just an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah. Like a Wii Fit or something.
Yeah, it's good that they didn't call it like the Wii HD or something.
Yeah.
Or the Wii 2 would have been particularly groan-worthy, but I guess if you had to go with something Wii U isn't terrible.
It's not awful.
It's something we'll probably grow to.
Should have been the
fine with.
Wiener.
I feel like a lot of parents are going to get confused and get the
It's good they didn't call it the
system, though.
stream, because the Wii stream would have been bad. But they finally showed off the controller, which has a 6.2-inch resistive touchscreen. It has a camera on the front, so you can take pictures of yourself.
Video chat.
It basically looks like a tablet. It has
Yeah,
dual
it's-
analog sticks, one on either side of the screen, your standard 4 face buttons, a D-pad, home button,
It looks very much like
plus
a
minus power.
3DS with another analog
I'd say
stick.
it almost
and a
looks
screen in the middle.
more like a smaller iPad in white.
Pretty big.
Well, it's 6.2 inches compared to a 10.1 inch
the
iPad.
controller as a whole looks pretty huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of space, obviously, for the controls and the camera and stuff around the screen. So I'd say the controller itself is probably about 10 inches long.
Yeah, which is
if the
pretty
screen
big.
is 6.2 diagonal. It's a pretty big controller, but from reports I've heard, it's pretty light. Also to mention, it does have 4 triggers, 2 bumpers, and 2 triggers total. So you get basically as many buttons as you would get on any other console, but with a touchscreen. It doesn't look quite as ergonomic, but it's also not a final design. We haven't. They said this is a working model. Hopefully they can do something a little bit more interesting with the design of it. The system looks cool though. I think.
Yeah.
They showed
curious to see what they'll do with it.
Yeah, it's kind of a smaller system in the same way that the Wii was. Nothing too exciting about it. It looks very standard. They're saying that it has pretty comparable graphics to the Xbox and PS3.
Right, and something you were telling me about yesterday, the processor.
Yeah, the processor that they're using in this thing is built on the same architecture, I believe, as IBM used to make Watson, which was the computer that beat humans at Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how Skynet starts. You got all these super smart Watsons walking around everyone's houses, and you got cameras so they know where we are at all times. It's bad.
Exactly.
Skynet's taking over, and I, for one, welcome our new overlord.
I am Sean Connor.
I am all about buying one of these things.
John Connor.
They didn't announce a price or a date. I think they said holiday 2012 or maybe earlier in Japan, possibly. What do you guys think the price is going to be?
Oh, I'd predict somewhere like if you including the controller
455.
bundle, like maybe some easily at least 400. I'd predict.
I think the fact that they're kind of going with not super new specs and they're going with a resistive touchscreen, not a capacitive touchscreen on the controller, they could probably get the controller down to about $100 is my guess. And I think they can sell the system for about 200 to 300.
So anywhere from 300 to 400 is what you're expecting.
That's my guess. And at 300 or 400, I'll buy one. At
I'm guessing
anything more than that, I'm nowhere near touching this thing.
I'm guessing more since there's nothing out there like it, and people are going to pay for something new and different, and they know that.
The good thing is this does support all your Wii games. It's going to support your Wii remotes. So, you know, anything that has motion controls, they're not going to be revolutionizing that with this controller. This is more for more traditional games and for new touchscreen kind of games.
Right.
I think you'll see some DS ports. You'll see some cool applications with it being a tablet thing, an on-the-go thing. But I don't think it's a revolution in the same way that motion control was. But it's too early to say that, I think.
I'll be curious how to see they implement the touch control with the Skyward Sword port.
Well, we don't know that Skyward Sword's coming.
Oh.
Skyward
I'm just
Sword...
looking at a
But it is
screenshot here.
compatible.
Looks
No,
like-
actually this
That's a
screen
new
the
Zelda
screenshot
game.
is for a unannounced it's a Zelda game for the Wii U. It's
Right.
just it's a render kind of.
Oh, okay.
It's not an official thing.
They're just using it to.
Yeah, I kind of show off the graphics.
Okay.
They also had a demo with a bird flying over a pond, and there were a bunch of flowers
Yeah.
blossoming. It was a really pretty video, though. I watched it. Obviously, they're not talking a lot about games for the system yet. I think they have another E3. They have TGS. They have Game Developers Conference to talk about all of the finals of this system. This is more of an introduction, kind of like what they did with the Wii the first year, where they showed the console and they showed some games. The 3DS, they had more games talking about the first 3DS year. But if you remember the PS3 the first year, they didn't let you even play it. They had the boomerang kind of controller that you could see behind a glass case. This is very much like that for Nintendo. They're showing off the stuff. You get to play it this time, but it's not. They're not like announcing a bunch of titles for it. They did announce some really cool stuff. That's multi-platform. Things like Darksiders 2 is going to be coming. You're getting Dirt. You're getting Aliens: Colonial Marines, Ninja Gaiden 3, Metro: Last Light, Ghost Recon Online. So you're getting a lot of these multi-platform third-party titles that are, you know, Nintendo has historically not gotten with the Wii. Not since the GameCube have they really gotten this kind of support. So it's good to see that. They have an exclusive Lego game coming for the system and for the 3DS called Lego City Stories.
Huh. What's that?
It kind of looks like Grand Theft Auto, but with Legos.
I can't wait to kill a Lego hooker.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite like that. It's more of an open world Lego game, from my
So,
understanding.
just sandbox Lego game.
Looks like it.
Okay.
Very customizable. It's not based on one franchise, it looks like, so
Alright.
they can do lots of different stuff. Other games coming to the Wii U, multi-console stuff. Tekken, Batman Arkham Asylum, or Arkham City, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. Interesting, if the system's not coming out this year, that we'd see versions of those games.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that stuff might transition into the next versions, especially for like Assassin's Creed. Batman Arkham City may not be able to, it may not something that you could have a game coming out next year for it. You could do a port of that. but I think Revelations, they may just have Assassin's Creed 3 come out as a launch title.
And not to worry, they did announce Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Strife.
Yep.
Well, they didn't announce a name.
No.
There's no official name yet.
That's what it said on YouTube.
Oh.
I'm not.
I would be surprised if that's the actual title.
Well, if we're gonna, that's a scoop. I've never heard that.
I named
before,
it myself.
There we go. You heard it here first, folks, on the Geek Switch podcast. We have it here under good authority of YouTube that the official name of the new Smash Brothers is Smash Brothers Strife. This, of course, is a joke, but what we do know about it is that it's going to be made by Sakurai, who made Melee and Brawl. He is working on Kid Icarus right now, but as soon as he's done with that, he's going to jump on this. This is a game that's going to be on 3DS and Wii U, so there's going to be some sort of cross connectivity there. We don't know what it is exactly, but I'm going to be buying both versions.
Yeah.
Pretty clear. Other big announcements. EA wasn't too clear with the Wii U, but they are saying that they're bringing it, games to it. They had a logo for Mass Effect, all their sports titles, Medal of Honor. It looks more like a just a list of all their games, not necessarily things that they will bring. Who knows if we'll see Mass Effect? But
Well, we can hope.
right. I don't know. Looks like we have other games for the Wii U. There's Kirby Wii, or not.
Yeah.
This is a Wii game. So these are other Wii
Right.
games, not for the Wii U. There's Kirby Wii. There's Just Dance 3, Animal Crossing. There's apparently a new one coming, which might have some connectivity with the 3DS version, and something called Kirby Mars Attack, which is different from Kirby Wii. And actually, those we don't know what systems they're for necessarily, outside of course Kirby Wii and Just Dance 3 because they've been announced. Animal Crossing could be a Wii U game. It could be they could be referring to the 3DS one. Only time will tell.
I wouldn't be surprised if one gets released for both systems, honestly, or maybe have a connectivity type thing.
So how do you guys feel about the fact that Nintendo has 4 consoles out there basically? Do you think they're going to discontinue the original DS soon?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Yeah.
I mean, they just dropped the price of the DS Lite to $99, but the DSi is still selling well. If the 3DS doesn't catch up in sales, do you think they're going to keep it going and just keep the DS out there for a while longer?
Well, I think they kind of have to make up for the money they spent on developing it. So.
Yeah, it's true. And that pretty much wraps it up for the Nintendo press conference.
Right.
Was there anything else we want to talk about from them? Nothing?
I've spent.
Okay, so let's just do really quick. This is not official for the Geek Switch website, but let's just do a quick awards kind of thing. Let's talk about best game for the Xbox. What was your game of show for Xbox 360?
I'm going to have to say new Halo.
Halo 4 or Halo Anniversary?
Both. I mean, they're
You gotta
pretty
pick
much-
one. I want one game here.
I'm probably going to have to say I'm more excited for one because
The remake?
it's the best in the series, and and
'Cause
it's
we know
got-
it'll be good.
and it now has live play. So.
Yeah, plus we've.
And it's cheaper. It's $39.99 instead of $59.99.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, because that's what I
And
heard.
it was Bungie, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna run on that same Bungie engine. What are you most excited about for Microsoft for the Xbox 360? This is not for cross-platform games, so that's gonna be a separate category.
So not Mass Effect 3.
Right.
Okay.
So no Mass Effect 3, no Bioshock Infinite.
Well, there goes my first two options. Let's see.
Something exclusive.
I don't know. Gears 3 looks pretty good, I'd say. I mean, I'm excited about. I'm definitely excited about the Halo games, but I mean, we really haven't seen much about Halo 4 aside from
That brief teaser
the
trailer.
little teaser.
it's going to be interesting.
And,
where they take it.
An Anniversary really isn't a new game, so to speak. So I'm pretty stoked about Gears of War 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff with Gears of War 3. I'm really excited about more Horde mode in that game.
That was a lot of fun.
See, looking through the list really quick again. Okay, I'm just gonna go with off the top of my head, Just Dance 2. I'm a huge Harmonix fan. I didn't play Just Dance.
You mean Dance Central?
too.
Yes, I always do that wrong.
Yeah, you do.
But Dance Central 2 looks great. I love Dance Central. I didn't play 1 as much as I should have, but hopefully I can rectify that with the sequel here. All right, PS3 game of the show. PS3 exclusive.
Resistance 3.
Resistance 3. Why do you think that?
I mean,
Not that any of us are going to play most of these games, but
well, like I said earlier, that Resistance 1 is one of the only PlayStation 3 games I ever played the whole way through. I actually owned the first one. And I mean, I'd love to play the second and third ones. I mean, they're the Halo of PlayStation.
Some would argue that it's Killzone, but
I think Sony's tried to do it with a lot of their franchises.
But they
I mean,
just
why
can't.
not? Right.
So some combination of all those together makes it a Halo killer. What about you? What's your...
Easily what stole the show for me, Uncharted 3.
Here goes my answer.
Well,
But I can pick something else.
Okay.
So talk a little bit about Uncharted 3. Why are you so excited? What makes you super excited to play this game potentially?
well, Uncharted 2 was, I mean, showed what they could really, they really could make a blockbuster action film very much into a great game.
And it wasn't just that. There's a lot of detail in that game.
Right.
I remember I never owned the game myself. I haven't I don't know PS3 yet, but I did play it at a friend's house, and I remember you walk under a branch, a low-hanging branch at one point, and Drake, reaches up, puts his hand on the branch, and just kind of, does it. It's a very small kind of thing. It's very contextual. You never see that animation ever again. But the fact that they put that animation in just for that one spot tells how much detail they're putting into this. So that's really cool.
Developer, the team pays a whole lot of attention to detail, and the fact that they're gonna, make it a 3D game, that's gonna look incredible. I think, and I think it's gonna be just.
How many people are gonna play that though, in 3D?
If I had the money for it, I would definitely.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people do not have money
Yeah.
for it. So,
That's not.
is that something we should?
That's not what you asked me, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I'm asking
What
why
looks the best?
Why would you be excited about it, though? I mean, you're.
I'm
not
just
gonna go
curious
play
to
in
see
3D.
what it looks like. Really, I mean, I know it's going to look incredible.
Well, since you picked that, I would have picked. I would have picked Infamous 2 if it wasn't coming out yesterday. Yeah, that was a weird tense issue there. But for me, if I had to pick something different, I'm gonna go with the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. Those are two games I've always wanted to play. I've never gotten a chance to play them, and when I do get a PS3 later this year, that's one of the things I'm definitely gonna pick up and play through.
They're
It looks
both just incredible.
Shadow of the Colossus.
fantastic. Okay, NGP or PSP game. So for either of those,
I'd have to go with HD versions of the God of War games.
no, not for PS3, for the PS Vita.
I thought that. No,
That's for that. The HD remakes are actually for the.
What's even
PS3.
coming out for the Vita?
Well, we just talked about this.
More than what has come out so far for the 3DS. So
Well, there's also more
At
to
least-
the 3DS
at
than
least
been announced
5
for the-
games.
For
Let's
the
go
PS
with
Vita.
the Tekken Street Fighter.
The Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's gonna be good. What about you, Colin?
I'm
is
gonna have
called
to split
today?
the list, honestly.
Well, you got Uncharted. You have Little Big Planet.
Well, I've never much cared for Little Big Planet, so I guess again Uncharted. I mean, why not?
There you go. It's for all the same reasons. It's a different developer, so it may not be the same, but hopefully they keep the same quality bar for that. It does look amazing for a handheld game.
Yeah.
Best handheld graphics I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm going to go with Little Big Planet on this one. I wish they would stop naming all their games Little Big Planet and name it like Little Big Planet Portable or something, but since this is the third game called just Little Big Planet,
Yeah.
but I played the PSP one, I loved it. I
Call
think
it
it's,
Tiny Huge Planet.
I'm not a huge
I think that might be Nintendo property.
I've never been one for designing the levels in the games, but I love being able to play through a bunch of different levels.
Mhm.
It's great stuff. So that's going to wrap it up for Sony. Moving on, how about Wii game of the show, just for the Wii?
Just Wii.
What do you got, Zach?
What?
Well, you got Zelda, you got Just Dance 2. Anything?
Was that all I got? to
Ocarina
choose
of
from?
Time, 3D. That's not
That's
that.
3DS.
Probably the Skyward
Skyward Sword. I think we can pretty much all say that that's going to be.
That's gonna be.
Since there's not much coming out for Wii, That's probably your game of
Well,
the show for Wii.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the new Kirby game. If it's
That's true.
It's done in the style of Crystal Shards, which was I really like that.
Mhm.
So looking.
Do we
forward
think it's going to be like that?
Yeah, I feel like I could see them doing a good game, making a good game out of that. So
For me, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. And,
you don't have to pick a different game than we do.
well, I think it's more interesting if we pick different stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of boring if we all pick the same game, right?
I guess.
So, for me, gotta take a look at what we had.
Gotta get dressed. Gotta go downstairs.
I grab my bowl.
The problem, there's not much coming out for the Wii.
Right. This show was definitely focused on the.
My favorite game that's coming out for the Wii this year has already come out. It is Chrono Trigger. Go check that out. It's on Virtual Console now. So go check that out. That's my game of the year for the Wii.
Well, there you
For
go.
the Wii U, what do you got? What's your game of the show for the Wii U? There's not a lot to pick from, obviously, but
No. Well, if Mass Effect 3's on there. There you
no
go.
exclusives.
Damn it.
It's gotta be exclusive.
Let's see then.
Well, I'm going to jump in and say.
Well,
Super
I'm
Smash
excited
Bros.
for that game with the bird in the tree. That looks pretty awesome.
The bird in the tree.
And I can't wait to see a sequel.
One in the hand, two
Bird in the bush. 2.
Bird in the bush too.
In George's bush.
Let's go ahead and say that game of the show for the Wii U. I hate saying that. For the Wii
I
U,
think we all do.
it's painful. The game of the show for the Wii U is going to be, without even seeing anything for it, Smash Brothers, hands down.
Okay.
How can it be anything else?
I guess.
I mean, they showed off some HD Zelda, but they didn't really show anything else.
Yeah.
The thing we're most excited about is Smash Brothers. It's the reason I'm going to buy a Wii U.
Definitely. I can play any Smash Brothers title for.
I just hope that they don't make you
Months.
use that controller. I hope you can use the Wii remotes.
Yeah.
Or classic controller, preferably.
When that game comes out, slap on the pins, because I'm not moving.
We're just going to have an all-night session here.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3DS title of the show. This is probably the one where I have the most contention, I think, as far as not for multi-platform stuff, but for exclusive titles. The 3DS has a lot of cool stuff. Outside of the PS3 and the Xbox, it's where Nintendo's really showing their stuff, I think.
Yeah.
They say that there's not a lot of stuff coming for the 3DS. They're wrong now, because
so much.
you got new Smash Brothers, first off. You have the Mario Kart coming this year. You have a new Mario platformer. You've got Animal Crossing. You've got Paper Mario. You've got everything coming to this thing.
Luigi Mansion 2.
Luigi's Mansion 2.
Star Fox.
Alright, Star Fox. Ocarina of Time.
Kid Icarus.
What's your game of the show for 3DS, Zach?
What's a 3DS?
It's like 2 DSs that you tape to your eyes.
Oh, pass on this one.
Well,
You're not allowed.
I did just list them, but that's okay.
I can't say I'm excited about something I'm not.
That's true. You don't have 3DS, so maybe there's nothing out there for you. There's nothing out there that makes you want to buy a 3DS at any point.
No.
All right. What about you, Colin?
Well, for me, as much as I want to say Luigi's Mansion 2, I feel like the better games that are going to be more suited for 3D, especially, are going to be either the new Star Fox game or Kid Icarus.
So which one?
Why
Star
do you
Fox
do these?
isn't new though. It's a remake of 64.
Is it? Oh, well, then probably Kid Icarus
So
or
Kid,
the new Mario game.
so Kid Icarus or Mario? Mario, I think, is a good choice. Personally, I'm gonna go with Mario Kart. Huge Mario Kart fan, and the fact that Retro's working on it and it's 3D,
Yeah.
and it's gonna have online play, I'm super pumped about that. I absolutely love Mario Kart. It's my second favorite multiplayer franchise after Smash Brothers.
Okay.
And I'd say that Smash Brothers is my favorite, but we haven't seen anything,
Right.
so I'm not going to call that. I think what we saw of Mario Kart looked really good, though. And now, multi-platform. What is... Alright, Colin, I'm going to let you go ahead and just take it. What is your multi-platform game?
Are you seriously asking me this question?
Well, I'm gonna pick something different, so go ahead.
Okay, Mass Effect 3, obviously,
Mass Effect 3, Game of the Year 2012.
and 13.
Possibly.
Best
And
game of all
14.
time, 2012.
Best game,
Game
of all
of the
time.
year
It is
every
game
year.
of all time. It's the best game of all time coming out in 2012.
Yep.
What would you say is the game that you're most excited for, Zach? That is multi-platform.
Modern Warfare 3.
Modern Warfare 3. Really, you gonna buy it?
Probably.
I
I
picked
haven't-
up Day 1. I didn't pick up Black Ops, but I did like Modern Warfare 2.
I have not picked up Black Ops, but I like the Modern Warfare.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get some play going on that when that comes out. For me, I'm gonna go with Bioshock Infinite. I think a lot of people have talked about this. It's a lot of people's game of the show. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I love Bioshock.
it's a good choice.
Ken Levine knows what he's doing. It looks like it's gonna be the only competition that Mass Effect 3 has for Game of the Year, which is saying something.
Yeah,
Because if that game had come out, if Mass Effect 3 was coming out this year like it was originally supposed to, there would be no competition. Skyrim, nothing.
yeah. I didn't see a whole lot about
even Uncharted 3, I
Skyrim
think, doesn't.
this year.
Skyrim, I think.
I saw a gameplay demo, but
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to show new because they've already revealed it, but there's
Right.
some cool things. You'll see some trailers and stuff this week. And finally, game of the show, anything, any game. What is the number one game? I think I already know. Collins, go ahead.
Madden 2012.
I knew it! Madden 2012, best game of all time.
Okay.
Why is it going to be the best game of all time? Colin,
Can I change my answer?
I hope you do.
Okay,
Please change your answer.
FIFA 2012.
Well,
You
that's almost
stole
good, man.
mine.
All right, now go. What is your
Where
game
am
of
I
the
going?
what is your game of the year predictions
For
or
2012?
no, for E3.
For E3.
What is your E3 game of the show?
Again, Mass Effect 3. Just
Hard to top it.
you can't.
I'm gonna have to go with Halo 4 because it was a big shocker that it was that they were coming out with a whole new trilogy. So I love those games.
All right, and I'm once again going to go with Bioshock Infinite
Yeah.
because actually, you know what? No, I changed my mind. I think there's a game that is coming out this year that deserves more attention, and that's Uncharted 3. I think
Yeah.
Uncharted 3 should be up there in that list, probably above Halo 4. Bioshock Infinite should probably be in there, but Halo 4 also looks amazing. We don't know much about it. Is the only thing I'm hesitant
That
to give
teaser
it game of
trailer
the
looks
show.
pretty awesome.
I'm really hesitant to say game of the show for Halo 4,
Yeah.
mainly because we saw.
I'm not hesitant.
Also,
Amazing.
we're not sure how it's gonna turn out, especially because Bungie's not developing it. I mean, a lot of the same people are still on board. Marty O'Donnell's still composing the score, but otherwise, we don't really know a whole lot about it yet.
So let's come to some consensus here. Are we gonna say our game of the show is? Do we want to go with Mass Effect? Do we want to come to a consensus here?
I'm not coming. No.
As far as actual presentation goes,
What do you think is going to be the game that was shown here this year that's going to be the best game? I have a hard time saying anything besides Mass Effect 3.
yeah,
Bioshock Infinite's up there, Uncharted 3's up there, Halo 4 could be really great, but we don't know yet. And Smash Brothers, I'm of course super, super excited about, even if I can't really
yeah.
have any reason for it, other than it's Smash Brothers.
How about we go with biggest disappointment of the show?
Biggest disappointment of the show. Okay, what was your biggest disappointment, Colin? What would you have liked to have seen?
New
That you didn't
Nintendo
see.
console with a different name.
Better naming. Okay,
There we
so
go.
better naming would be something we needed desperately this year.
I myself am heartbroken over the no open world Pokemon game.
Yeah, there was nothing much about Pokemon this year.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll hear about it closer to a Wii U launch if they ever end up doing something like that.
Black and White just got released this year.
Yeah, I'm
so-
sure next year we'll hear about a new 3DS version of the game or something.
That's not what I want to hear.
My biggest disappointment is probably the lack of price drops.
Yeah.
You know,
The lack of money that I have.
I'd love to buy a PS3. I just don't want to pay $300 for
That's
it.
not
Still
so much a
Sony.
disappointment to me, so much as a disappointment to my family. So
I might sell him one.
All right, and what was the biggest thing that you would have like
liked to
what game would you have wanted to see here if you could have any dream game? What would you have had at this showing?
Mass Effect MMO.
Mass Effect MMO.
Yep.
Great choice.
That's all I want in life.
If
really.
you could have any game, Zach, what would it be?
I'm gonna have to say a Halo MMO.
Really?
Halo MMO. Why not? Are you talking about an MMO FPS or an MMO RPG?
RPG. I think
Really?
You want to do an RPG? You wouldn't rather have it be an FPS?
one or the other. Either way.
Interesting. I could see an MMO FPS working for Halo, maybe, but
Yeah.
I've seen a concept for it. They're actually.
and
talking
it
about
looks like Bungie's probably going to do something similar to that when they work for Activision. They want to do something online like that.
Are they working for Activision?
Yes,
Huh.
they are working for Activision now. The biggest thing that I would have liked to have seen is, and I'll probably talk about this a lot as the podcast goes on, but Rock Band 4.
Actually,
Probably my favorite franchise
Yeah.
in recent years, just for how much I play it. Rock Band, I love that series, and it's always sad to not see another one, especially since we don't have any Guitar Hero or anything coming out this year.
Yeah.
Outside of Rocksmith from Ubisoft.
I'm gonna.
So get that hot newness.
I'm gonna take mine back and say I want to see Battlefront 3 come out
Star Wars Battlefront 3.
with
Oh, that'll be
live play.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be cool. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. We're sitting at about an hour and a half, so that's good. Before we go, you can always follow us on Twitter at GeekSwitch, at Tony Livingston, and at Soapy Butt Cheeks. We have a Facebook fan page. It's facebook.com/geekswitch.net. You can email the show at podcast@geekswitch.net. And you can email me personally at pojobaon, POJOBAON, @gmail.com. That's our E3 show. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us. If you made it this far, God love you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You are our favorites. See you next week.